The name of this project is TIA. The project itself was an interesting brief. It came as we're looking for a simple chair with a unique personality, and which is sort of a little bit of a contradiction in some ways, but actually ended up being a good basis for an idea. I think the flexibility of the chairs themselves and the stools themselves, they could be applied to so many different things. I mean, certainly within the contract realm, you've got the big fad right now of benching and people working essentially standing up, and for the fatigue, people are offering sort of stools that are just a flat stool, no back, no support, no comfort. So the idea that somebody's going to spend any time there is, sort of unrealistic. And so I think the first thing was to really look at offering a higher back stool that really had the comfort of a good seat, and at the same time it was in a stool position, and I think that really has a great flexibility. The chairs themselves certainly work everything from just a standard guest chair to be able to intermingle with other couches and benches. At the same time, it works at a larger table, more conference sort of situation. So I think there's a lot of flexibility. Quite frankly, I think with both pieces, they also have a lot of residential application as well. Well, the actual design itself, I mean, it first started with looking at the idea of a simple chair. And myself have a real rich background in making and fabricating my own furniture for one-off and commission work, and then basically building hundreds of pieces of furniture over the years. Sort of look at the components of the history of sort of making furniture. And Gunlocke itself has this long, sort of standing of looking at the artisan quality of makers and craftsmanship and things along those lines. And so taking that into account, looking at all the different parts that make up a chair, how those parts fit together, and then essentially the end goal is a lot bigger, and that defines the personality. So I started sort of taking the idea of the chair apart in terms of the actual seat and how it's going to be supported and what the structure is going to be. And with that, sort of it fell upon the idea that there was also a parallel. And I brought up the idea of like Coco Chanel's Little Black Dress. It's essentially something that's been edited down to such a simple form, but it's the relationship of that form, the relationship to the body, the silhouette that it creates, really makes for a rich sort of conclusion. And so that was sort of what I used really as the driver for the project, and created the seat where essentially the line goes down, it follows the seat, it rolls over, it comes back up, and then the actual frame itself cradles itself up to the back of it. The big sort of surprise is sort of as you come to the back of the chair, then the millwork gets coved out the opposite direction. So you've got one cradling to the back of the seat and the other one sort of cradles back out of the wood. Once we had those forms, we got the chair itself, and we started realizing that there was potential now to expand that into the stool range, which I think, in my opinion, I think the tall bar stool, which is usually for a designer the most difficult thing to design, actually came out to be the most elegant of the forms, which was both a pleasant surprise and a nice end game for the actual collection itself. Well, I mean, I think that we've got a full range of colors for the frames themselves. And so in terms of woods, I think the form itself works extremely well, going all the way from lights to darks. And so we have a lot of flexibility with the finishes themselves. So wood tones, depending on the different interiors, I think you can form the piece out in a very unique way. I think it also receives fabrics in an interesting way, because that the way the seat sort of just projects slightly over the form itself allows the fabric to really sort of showcase itself. So when somebody's specifying fabrics, it's a piece that can go from a highly textured fabric. In this case, on this chair, it's got felt on it. It can have a pattern, it can have a print, and so there's a lot of flexibility, and it showcases that the simple wood form holds that in a really unique way. The three different heights, I think, really allows it to be the counter height is, in a lot of cases, people are looking at in-between area, the guest height, essentially standard guest height seating, and then the bar height, the two allow people to, get that higher stance. And in most cases, you know, it's a very elegant, I think, an elegant conclusion for a bar height. The metal accent was, for myself, being someone who's built a lot of wooden furniture, and in some cases you want to have the purity of having the wood furniture there and it all being wood, but in a very, very short amount of time you have one person sit on it that has a stone in their soul, and it puts a score on it, and you're thinking to yourself, it's like, oh, well, it was a pretty wood piece. So looking at it from sort of a contract and a high use and really just functionality sort of standpoint, wrapping the front of the footrest with some metal in a way that just gives that protection. And you know, we do it in a really beautiful polished way if you want to have that sort of bright quality in a brushed as also in a white and in a black. So you can sort of either make it apparent or unapparent depending on the relationship with the wood. Without a doubt, I think the three-quarter view on the tall bar height is just the most beautiful silhouette. That's for me the most pleasure with the piece itself, because you really see the idea of the way that the seat and the actual frame itself cradles together, and the actual profile itself is really quite beautiful.